Hello and welcome to Lessons with the King, your daily show to make your damn life just a little bit better. Today's lesson 225, focus on the long term. Anyone that does anything with me knows, like, I don't even think 2 years, it's like 5, 10, 15, I always think way forward. So I build something now, I'm like, okay, cool. Once I start something like long term, and it might make my life a little bit complicated, but it just works for me because I know I've started this show. We're just gonna keep it going until I die or until I'm like, I'm tired of it. But I rarely get tired of something I start. And because when I start something, I'm like, okay, will I be able to do this in 10 years? Or in 10 years now, I'm going on 3-6 month shoots, whatever. Will I still have the capacity to do that? I'll find a way, something like that. So when I think of that, any business, any show, any friendship, it's not, oh man, we're just gonna do this thing for 2 weeks or whatever. Even if it's a seasonal thing, right? I know I'm gonna have a lot of seasons. So we start a show, it's gonna be 4 episodes a season, or 5 episodes, 10 episodes a season, and then in between seasons we have prep for the next season. Or I start something where I know, okay, this person's story is going to go through 3 seasons, but by season 2 I'm looking for another interesting character where I'm like, oh, this person's story is going to go for another 4 seasons. So by season 3 we know who we are going to get the audience to start following, because then we'll keep those seasons going. That's how things work for me. Whether it's a show, whether it's an idea, whether it's a business, whether it's a friendship, whatever it might be, it's always about the long term. Thinking about the long term puts things in perspective. You don't need to rush. You don't need to, oh man, I want this success right now, because the success you get at year 1, you can't compare it to year 2, you can't compare it to year 5. I know, because man, something you love and you do, it tends to compound itself. So year 1 you might make $1, year 2 you might make $7, in year 3 you might make $22, and you're like, holy shit. If you just stopped at year 1, $1 would have been great, but imagine all the things you've learned along the way that took you to year 2. And the thing is, when you're learning something, you can take that thing you've learned in this thing to doing something else. So like Lessons with the King might take aspects of that for my mix with Israel, or for the sanctuary, or for Ataraxia, or for something my friend is working on. Long term is so cool, and you don't worry about losses or failures, because it's just a pothole, it's just another lesson, and you're gonna take that thing you've learned, fine tune it, move it to the next iteration. Oh man, I could actually have a 4-hour talk about just focusing on the long term. Prompt 225, what is your 10-year plan? Lesson 225, focus on the long term. I'll see you tomorrow.